We've all been told to keep our hips to the wall. It's advice that's been around for as long as I've been alive. Even ChatGPT repeats it.
Keeping your hips near the wall makes climbing more efficient.
I want to finally debunk this myth and show you where good climbing technique begins. Let's go through a few examples. At the start of this problem, we find ourselves in a bridge. This is where we have feet on opposing walls. Now imagine if someone shouts to keep your hips to the wall. This pushes us out of balance. Our back and shoulders come out to compensate. The ideal balance point is for our hips to be directly above both feet. Draw an imaginary line through your feet. Your hips want to be at the midpoint. To be honest, you will find this out through practice and won't have to think about it. Being told to keep your hips to the wall in this situation will overcomplicate matters. For most beginners, the vertical wall is going to be the most common angle to climb on. Maybe hips close to the wall help here. As you can see, we have a similar problem to the last move. Our upper body is pushed away from the wall. Pay close attention to the over-gripping and bent arms, a familiar issue for those new to climbing. Instead, we want to relax, straighten those arms, and forget about our hips. They will naturally find your center of gravity. There is something else that we should be focusing on to improve our technique, but first I'd like to continue with the examples. I like to take ideas to the extreme to test out their effectiveness, so I'm going to climb this blue problem without any footholds using a technique called smearing. As you can see, the further away from the wall my hips are, the better I stick. The last thing you want to do while smearing is hug the wall. If you're finding this video helpful, hit that subscribe button for future technique breakdowns. What about a cave problem? As you can see, pushing our hips into the wall, whether horizontal or vertical, gives us the same issue as on the vertical wall. Even worse than being completely out of balance is that in this position, I'm actually further away from the next hold and can only hold this for a couple of seconds. One solution is to relax onto straight arms. Whether we want to do the next move statically or dynamically, this is a good starting point for the next move. But there is something more important than straight arms. Now here is the biggest reason why hips close to the wall is bad advice for newer climbers. Most commonly, beginners will climb with feet pointing outwards like this. I call this frogging. There are two reasons for this. One is this position feels more stable. It feels fixed and strong, but that is also the weakness. It is incredibly difficult to move from this position. The second reason is wearing shoes that are too big. If a climber cannot stand on their toes or pivot from inside edge to outside edge, then it is likely their climbing shoes are too big. If you try and force your hips into the wall whilst frogging like this, it just makes that climb more difficult. The secret to all technique is footwork. Every technique begins with your feet. Having both feet parallel to each other allows you to pivot and move much more freely. Then you can rotate your hips either away or into the wall by using your feet. Check out one of my dedicated videos to learn more.